My hand, why don't people understand my intention?
Computer running slow?
I'm waiting.
Caught a virus?
Wait.
Does your computer seem to have a life of its own?
Malfunction. Need input.
The computer guru is here.
My God, you're here!
Call in now.
Now it's Mike Swanson, your computer guru.
Hello and welcome to the Computer Guru Show. My name's Mike, here to deal with your technology needs and treat you like a person in the process. At least I'll give it my best shot, considering it's, the craziness of the world right now. 790-2040 if you want to be part of the show. We'd love to hear from you. And you can lay whatever technology issues you have on us, and we'll see what we can do. Got the full complement here today. Tara and
we're
Rob.
still trying to get this whole schedule thing figured out.
Yeah, well, we've got it figured now, right?
Yeah, I'll be here again next week. And Tara
and I won't.
Will not be here again next week.
Sounds like a plan.
Then we're going to alternate from that point on.
It kind of sounds like I know it.
Tara just doesn't want to be on the show with me, so.
That's not true.
That's why.
No.
Tara hates me.
Yeah, okay. 790-2040 if you want to lay your technology issues on us. I'd love to hear from you. How about the FBI opening an investigation into itself?
How does that work?
Not well.
It's all over. They're actually investigating their own Twitter account.
We've investigated ourselves and found no wrongdoing. Case closed.
Well, they're going to find it's probably just some sort of glitch in the matrix, right? They have a Twitter bot that is supposed to, anytime that something is released because of a Freedom of Information Act, it's supposed to drop it into this little Twitter vault thing, FBI document vault, and their Twitter bot is supposed to tell everybody about it so everyone can go look. So apparently it has been working for a while, and people want to know why.
Well, because Twitter, I mean...
Yeah, and I'm sure it's an API change that nobody noticed. And
because nobody uses Twitter.
It just happened. Some people use Twitter.
I use Twitter.
See?
Like I said, nobody uses Twitter. Just kidding. No, I don't know. I like to speak authoritatively on things just because I don't use them.
That's right.
I don't use Twitter, therefore no one uses it.
No one uses Twitter or Facebook in your world.
That's a good world to live in, man. Let me tell you.
I agree, actually. So they're looking into that, and it's not going. There's a whole bunch of conspiracy theories. There's a lot of tinfoil hats going on right now. That's all I'm saying. There's just.
I feel like that's not the only way to find out if there's new Patriot Act documents.
Well, and it's not.
And if it is, that's a bigger problem.
But there are accusations being made that it's politically motivated, that the Twitter bot was muted. Because nobody knows where the FBI stands on who they support or don't support. And isn't the whole point of the FBI not to support anybody?
Where do we stand on these poor little bots that don't even have true AI and yet they're being gagged? Sad.
I'm just thinking, if you think that an investigative agency is on your side or on the side of someone else, you probably don't understand how investigations work. And
yeah, they're certainly not supposed to be on the side of anyone.
Right. So I think that if you're making the claim that the FBI is either, pro Gary Johnson or something, that you probably do not understand that one of the fundamental tenets of being impartial when it comes to investigation.
Or maybe, Americans are just so used to our investigative bodies being interested in one party over the other that it's just normal now.
Yeah, that could be it.
Could be.
Could be some corruption going on there. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I'm impartial because,
This is why I welcome our robot overlords. There will be no corruption.
None.
We stamped into non-existence.
Yeah, because we won't exist.
Also, The Matrix was a pretty good movie, so I just hope it ends up being something like that. The first one, though.
The first one, not the second one?
That one doesn't exist. Neither does the third one.
The third one definitely doesn't exist.
Yeah, that one super doesn't exist.
Right, it's no.
The revelations of The Matrix was that the second and third one were terrible.
I actually like the third one.
Get out.
I didn't watch the second one.
I don't even know you anymore.
No.
I am outraged. No, I don't.
You sound so outraged.
I don't
right
care
now.
if somebody else likes them or not. I just don't.
Wait, this is coming from somebody who doesn't even watch movies.
Oh, I watch a lot of bad movies.
That makes me realize that there's a good chance you just haven't even seen the first one.
I have seen the first one and the third one. I haven't seen the second one.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you're not missing anything.
That's what I've been told, so I haven't watched it.
It's the same with the third one, though.
But I did see it, and I liked it. Robot Wars, man. It was cool.
Speaking of Twitter, there's a thing going around on Twitter. It says that you can vote from home. Mm-hmm. All you got to do is text your vote to a 5-digit phone number. The answer is no.
I mean, you can do that.
You can do that.
It's not gonna count.
So I guess the question is, do you think that it is just somebody collecting information, or
I think they're actively trying to, stifle votes.
Right, you're thinking that, well, they think that they already voted, so they don't need to go vote.
Exactly. It's pretty clever. A lot of people will probably fall for that.
Huh.
Well, they even have them in Spanish, and they have them directed to certain ethnic groups as well. So yeah, they're definitely trying to do something with the vote. That's for sure.
So I mean, isn't vote tampering is illegal? Is it not?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it
interfering
is.
with the voting process is illegal, I believe. So yeah,
I feel like this election in general is interfering with my voting process.
I agree with you on that. I mean, there is a level of insanity that is happening with this whole election process and the technology involved with it, like the thing about voting machines changing votes.
Yeah, I saw that video. I think that was a touchscreen error more than anything else.
Yeah, and it may be.
It's like, have you ever used of course you have the touch screens at the ATM, and like you have to press like 6 inches above where you actually want it to.
Calibration error.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why? Like the technology for tablets and phones, you never have to calibrate those.
Well, it looks like those voting machines are using resistive touchscreens still, not capacitive.
Yeah, it's one of those things where the government's just so far behind. We hear about how ahead they are in technology, but look at those touchscreens.
In 2116, they'll have capacitive touchscreen voting machines.
These people are also guilty of copyright infringement, though.
Oh, because they're lifting stuff off of Hillary's page?
Yes. They stole all kinds of her, the photography and the logos and fonts and everything.
I thought that there was an exempt for copyright when it comes to a politician. Like, you're allowed to use their imagery and banners and stuff.
I think
maybe not if you're literally misrepresenting yourself to say that you're them, but like they want you to use their logos and stuff,
I guess. You could make your own bumper stickers.
I'm probably totally wrong on that.
I don't know.
I don't know.
The whole thing is just ridiculous. Anyway, don't text your vote because, I mean, you can if you want to, but also go vote because if you want to, because
or don't if you don't. I mean, whatever.
Right. I mean, well, there's a certain amount of. All right. I got 2 minutes to go completely off topic here. There is there's this push that says, you know what, everyone should go vote, and I mean, I agree with everybody everybody has the right to vote, but I think that some people just aren't informed enough to vote.
Yeah, I think that it's more dangerous to go vote if you really don't understand the issues and you just are kind of picking at random or picking something because your friend's voting for that or whatever, Right,
you could end up, because laws are forever, right? You thought diamonds were? No, laws are forever. And I think that you could end up, voting for something that you don't understand because you're an uninformed voter. You haven't done any of the research to figure out what you're voting for specifically. And you can end up generating a law that not just you, but everyone to the end until the end of time has to deal with because you didn't know what the hell you were voting for. So, yeah, I mean, if you're going to vote, great, go vote. But if you should at least have some sort of idea about what you're voting for and why.
I will say that for the first time in my life, I actually totally agree that they should raise the voting age.
To what, like 60?
25. I'd say 25.
I understand that. And but I think that there should be, like, you should have some sort of basic understanding of civics. Right? Or in some cases, like with the local elections, all right, how about a basic understanding of finance, all right, how money works.
But how does it work?
Like magnets, man. All right,
it's
nobody knows. And that's the sad part is like if you start doing research on the plans that our potential fearless leaders have for finance, right? Nobody can agree on how the fiscal policies are going to play out because nobody knows. I mean, the world fiscal politics is so complicated. Everybody's like, well, this is what we think. But we're probably wrong. They even say it. They're like, well, we don't know. You know,
I think all elections should be held, Mortal Kombat style.
Whoever's left standing.
Yeah, just a big arena,
Or a duel.
So I think the world is going down in they're prophetic movies, right? And I think that they're movies where a mixture of the two are going to be our outcome after this election, which is going to be you're going to mix Idiocracy, of course, and
1984.
Demolition Man.
Okay.
All right, because Demolition Man was, with the exception of maybe Taco Bell winning the war.
How do you use the shells?
Right, but getting
this.
fined for saying stuff that people don't agree with, or, just this whole like nobody touches anyone because it violates the sanctity of their safe space or whatever. It's one of these things that the world is losing its mind. Although, I mean, it would be nice to be able to just sort of learn stuff in your sleep. Right? You just end up having a new skill. You can learn how to knit or something.
I don't know if I need to learn how to knit.
It is fun.
Really?
And relaxing.
You knit?
Yeah, I try.
See? Don't know anything about you. You know who I do know about, though? That would be Perfection Auto Works. You can go visit their website at perfectionautoworks.com. They do a 26-point inspection for your car for free. And it is getting cooler. I mean, I thought it was a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, and then it was just a trick.
It was just like, psych, it's hot again.
You wore a jacket today. Now it's 90 degrees. Boom.
Time to sweat. There you go. But you can go down there and get your car checked out, and they'll give you a great, wonderful service that's worth even driving a state away for just to get your oil changed. Not to mention that, there's a lot of rodents and pack rats and stuff. They have those little lights that they can install under your hood to keep them out of there. Apparently they work really well.
And they're trying to stay warm at night.
Yeah. When it gets cool off, little pack rats are moving in there. And well, I don't like them. Don't like them one bit. Rodents.
Hey, a little bit later on, I'm actually going to rant about something.
No way.
Yep, I'm going to rant for once.
There's going to be a rant sponsored by Perfection Auto Works. We'll be right back.
Your computer guru, Mike Swanson, is here to help you tame that beast of a machine. Join the chat right now at gurushow.com or call in. This is the Computer Guru Show on KVOY, The Voice. Your technology guru, Mike Swanson, is answering all your questions one by one.
Yes, science!
So chime in with yours. The website is gurushow.com. Tune in, click in, and kick back. This is the Computer Guru Show.
Welcome back to the Computer Guru Show. My name is Mike, here to deal with your technology needs and treat you like a person in the process. So in news that is, we already talked about, elections and all of that stuff. So there's sadness in the world already. Let's go ahead and pile onto it. A Munich court is trying to try Facebook's Zuckerberg for inciting hatred and a bunch of their top officials over at Facebook.
I don't think that's how that works, though.
Yeah, well, that's not how it works here, but it
it's the only place that matters.
There. So Zuckerberg and several other senior Facebook officials are facing charges for abetting crimes like Holocaust denial. German authorities believe the social media giant is not doing enough to censor offensive posts. All right, so
I've said it before, I really dislike when things make me agree with things that I disagree with. I don't like Facebook, so I don't want to have to defend them.
Right, nobody uses it in your opinion.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a non-issue. We can move on. No, I really don't. I don't like Facebook, and I really don't like having to defend things that I don't like. But come on, censorship. We're still doing this in current year.
In current year, we are still doing this
in Germany.
Well, and not just Germany. We're even doing it here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's everywhere now, and in Europe in general. But it's even coming over here now. These American companies are having to bow to this type of thing as well.
Right, and at what point do you determine that it's thought police rather than, censorship, right? Because that's really where it's going.
I mean, it's just kind of sad that we're living in an era where freedom of speech is still a novel concept in most of the world.
Well, this is one of those things where you have a double-edged sword of technology. where technology is given, and is touted as giving everyone a voice. But the problem is that there's so much information. There are people that are exposed to ideas. And you have to blame the parents for part of this. But there are people that are exposed to ideas that they either hadn't thought of before, or for some reason they're such delicate little flowers that you have to worry about offending someone by presenting them with a fact or an opinion that they were unaware of before. And now that there's so much information out there and it's coming at you from all directions, and you can turn just about anywhere on the internet and find a new avenue that you never knew existed, then you end up in a situation where there are plenty of people to be offended.
It seems a bit ridiculous that we're taking offense is given as much credence as like physical harm. You know,
well,
like I'm offended. That's a crime. Nobody is forcing you to go on Facebook.
Well, and you got people going to the UN and saying, "Oh, I have to deal with everyday violence on the internet." There's no such thing as violence on the internet because words can't break your fingers.
I mean, the UN, there are real things to be dealing with in the world. There's real violence still happening in large parts of the world.
Right. Slavery still exists. You've got people starving all over the place. There's genocidal maniacs running countries.
Children, armies, all that good stuff. And It's like, this kid on Xbox Live told me things about my mom that I didn't want to know. Come on. It's hard to believe that we even have to have this discussion. It's so ridiculous.
Well, and the fact that, all right, so if you start here where you've got Germany going after Facebook because a user of Facebook, not even an official of Facebook, but some user of Facebook said, you know what, I don't think the Holocaust existed. All right.
Facebook polices itself in that regard. The users do. They'll be like, you're dumb. You're
right.
stupid.
Well, and it's the same thing. Does that mean that I can have somebody arrested for saying that there's chemtrails, right? Or does that mean
Can
that
we?
does that mean that people who believe that the Earth is flat, right?
Just a lot of
or
turtles.
let's turn it the other way around, because typically it's the minority affecting the majority. So what about the people that are offended by all the people that believe that the Earth is round or spherical?
Wasn't it Mark Twain? And somebody call me up and tell me if I'm wrong on this. Wasn't it Mark Twain, though, who said that the mark of an intelligent mind is being able to entertain an idea without agreeing with it?
Yeah, I think it was him.
When you just stomp out an idea, even if it's a really stupid one like Holocaust denial, what is the point of that? What's the point of even trying to have an intelligent conversation with someone if when they raise a point that you don't agree with, you're just going to be like, that's illegal?
Well, not to mention if you've ever had a conversation with either a Holocaust denier or a flat earther or someone who believes in chemtrails or any of these other things, if you have a conversation with them and you say, well, that's not true, then the more you push at them, the further they entrench into that belief. So if you are stomping this out on their side of the fence, you are just proving to them that,
if you're saying I'm not even going to argue with you, I'd rather just make your entire opinion illegal. They're like, see, they're trying to keep me down and they won't let me get the real truth out.
Right. Well, what really needs to happen is a real conversation, right?
You should be confident enough in your ideas that you can confront someone who believes something that opposes you and know that you are correct.
And that's the part that bothers me the most. There's a weakness that is being posed here, because if you are afraid of an idea, if words scare you, then you've got something larger at play that is a real problem.
But see, that's being said as Americans. In Germany, and I know this for fact, it is a huge offense. Anything Holocaust related.
I mean, it's a huge. I think it's a huge,
like jail time. Worse, huge.
I think it's offensive here as well. Although obviously it's not a crime. Yeah. But I mean, my family's Jewish.
Yeah.
And yet I still don't think that Holocaust denial should be illegal. We should just stomp it out with facts rather than like literally stomping it out. It's the new martyrs are ideas. These when you ban an idea, it becomes a martyr.
And the internet is what really sort of allows that to happen, because people are exposed to ideas that they never would have even thought of before. And I mean, if you look at the college systems, right, universities all over the world are just, they're filled with these people that are afraid of ideas. And isn't the whole point of university?
Yeah, wasn't it how many generations ago, not even, one generation ago, that the universities were the ones railing in favor of free speech and the freedom to have an idea that was against the standard ideas.
Right, and now they're looking for segregation and the no free speech. You know, they want First Amendment free zones in universities, and it's just like, come on, people. I mean, is the internet is technology and ideas or ideas of others, or is it so terrifying that you just want to like curl up into a little ball and cry? And if the answer is yes, then wow, your parents did you a disservice.
Well, I want to know. I want to know what these kids' parents think, considering that they were the ones who were fighting for those freedoms that their kids are now trying to take away.
Well, and some of them may even, they may not even know what's going on, right? Because you've got a set of teachers that are out there that are ridiculous. I mean, if you look in Canada right now, there was a professor that is getting all kinds of trouble, all kinds of heat, because he put out some blogs on the internet that basically said that one of the laws that they're trying to pass there, which would criminalize the misuse or non-use of preferred gender pronouns. Basically, if you didn't call somebody "zer" or "they" or whatever their preferred pronoun was, a attack helicopter.
Yeah, honestly, like the best way to defeat that law is going to be through ridicule.
Right.
I identify as Godzilla.
Right, and if you didn't refer to them in a way that they felt kindly with, then you could be fined or jailed. And so this professor came out and put a bunch of blogs out on YouTube and basically said, you know what, I'm not down with this. I think this is not a good idea. And he's getting all kinds of flack about it.
It's ironic that the internet, which is the greatest tool for freedom of speech in the history of the world, is being used to spread these ideas that are anti-free speech. It concerns me that these kids who are in college right now and are saying these things, in 20 years they're going to be running for office. I hope that they don't hold these ideas anymore, or at least have wisened up about them.
Well, I mean, it's a I don't know. I just look at all these videos, I watch them online, and I see a whole bunch of people that are going to be remarkably lonely when they get older. It's Computer Guru Show. We'll be right back.
You take me there, you take me where the kingdom comes. You take me to, lead me through Babylon. This is the morning of valor.
Whether you're dealing with hardware installation or, heaven forbid, a virus,
No!
Mike Swanson is answering all your questions one by one. So call in or chat in with yours. The website, gurushow.com. Tune in, click in, and kick back. This is the Computer Guru Show on AM 1030 KVOY The Voice. Mike Swanson, your computer guru, is just a click away. Listen and watch at gurushow.com. This is the Computer Guru Show on KVOI The Voice.
Welcome back to the show, 790-2040, if you'd like to talk about some technology. So we're done ranting, I think, about politics at the moment.
Yet my rant is still to come.
Yeah, but speaking of Germany, there's a guy in Germany who has built a proof of concept printer that is very interesting.
This thing is super cool.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, if you're local, if you're in Tucson, then you've probably seen the either the somewhat well identified or disguised cell phone towers that look like saguaros.
Sometimes it's just so obviously, not a saguaro that
there's one on Houghton near like Camino Seco or something like that. Houghton and I don't know what, Irvington. And there's a restaurant at the top of this hill, and it has 4 identical saguaros outside of it.
I don't think they're as bad as the pine tree cell towers, though, that you find in California.
I like the, I like the effort. It's a good, or I like the idea, but the effort isn't great.
There's another one that's interesting over at Grant and Swan that, it's like all these one type of tree in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
And then they have this one cell tower that looks like a palm tree, and it just sort of stands out like crazy. I'm like, yeah, well, I mean, I guess you gave it a shot.
They should hide a cell tower inside of that T-Rex outside of McDonald's.
Yeah.
They should.
Well, this guy hit a cell tower and a printer, and did it as a proof of concept just to show you this is interesting. Is because it's inside the building with people. it easily overpowers the cell phone towers that are nearby.
And while his execution is funny and he did it in a humorous way, it is kind of scary because it shows that you can hide a cell tower inside of a printer and then put it in an office. That's pretty scary.
Yeah, so any phones that are in the office, they will connect to this cell phone tower, provided they're on the right frequency. And it will then send them a text message. It says something along the lines of, "I'm printing your details now." And if somebody responds back to it saying, "What? Who is this?" Right? Because it comes as an unidentified number. It will spit it out on the printer. And then at some random interval, it will call them. And when they answer the phone, it plays Stevie Wonder's "I Just Called to Say I Love You." And then it eventually kicks them off the tower. After 5 minutes, it says, "Okay, I'm done with you." And then it forces the phone back onto a real cell phone tower. But the idea that someone could hide a cell phone tower inside of a printer, put it in an office, and it will intercept SMS calls and actually all calls.
I mean, that's got so many implications for penetration, like of government buildings or a power plant or a hospital, you name it. Any sensitive, we all know that they don't have the best security anyway.
Right. Well, the power plants have none, right? That we figured that out last week.
They took security through obscurity to like the whole new level.
That's right. Oh, man. Yeah, so it's a neat idea. It's kind of playful.
The thing that really concerns me is it's like if this guy's willing to release the information, like that means the people who are using this for nefarious purposes probably figured this out quite some time ago.
Yeah, it's been around for a while. And we know that the cops have been using something like that.
Right.
Law enforcement's been using the stingers for a long time. And, they're questionable legality all over the place with those things because they inadvertently pick up every cell phone tower in like a kilometer range. And or every cell phone. And so there's a certain amount of, you are being subjected to, at least from the legal sense, you're being subjected to illegal search and seizure of your digital presence. But if baddies are out there, right, bad people want to do bad stuff. Really?
Sorry.
If they're going to do bad stuff, they are, it's pretty easy for them to do so.
This is one of those projects, though, that I have to say, don't try this at home because if the FCC will get you in trouble for a cell phone jammer, I can only imagine what they'll do about something like this.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, though, is if you've got proper execution, like this guy,
they won't know.
You never know, right? And this guy had proper execution, right? The people could still make calls out, and they just route it through the internet. It becomes a microcell. So, yeah, there's a whole lot of, if executed properly, you could see all kinds of bad stuff happening with this. You have to be really careful about your presence, especially digitally speaking. I'm advocating for the world to go analog again. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's take a call here. Let's talk to James. Hello, James. How are you? James, are you present?
I am present.
Okay, how can I help you?
Well, I'd like to make a comment on I have a comment and a question.
Sure.
My comment is, one of you said something about changing the voting age to 25. I'm old enough to have been around when the discussion was about changing the voting age from 21 to 18. And I was for changing the voting age, but I was for changing it to 35.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, why I say that is that since that time, there's been some studies that have been performed. Neurosurgeons have been involved, neuroscientists, and so on. And they say that the brain becomes fully developed at age around 27. And that confirms what I intuitively thought at the time. When people experience life, then they start to put some things into perspective, and I think that would change things, especially if they had, some education or have been exposed to civics to see what our government is based on, and then this thing about free speech, they can be told certain things like, maybe it's offensive, but so what? It stops good things too, and all this kind of stuff. So anyway, that's my comment.
All right.
Okay. My question has to do with getting email, and it's an advertisement, but I'm not sure because by that I mean I'm not sure if I didn't sign up to get these things, and so I say, well, okay, I'll unsubscribe. Is that dangerous? I'm kind of paranoid about these things because if I don't know what the email is about and it doesn't strike a bell as being legitimate, a legitimate company, I'm thinking, oh, here's another technique to get into your computer. You unsubscribe and they've got you.
Yeah, well,
is that being paranoid?
No, it's not paranoid. There are two different schools of thought on this, which is that, yeah, you can go ahead and unsubscribe. And then there's the other group that says, well, you're just confirming that you exist if you unsubscribe from, spam email. I tend to be somewhere in the middle, and I am just too lazy to unsubscribe, so I just block all that stuff. I mean, I'm not going to go through all the trouble of... You don't even know how angry I get when I click on unsubscribe, and then they send me an email that says that I was unsubscribed. I'm like, that just makes me crazy. So,
right.
So I just block all of it. And,
how do you block it?
Well, you got to have some pretty fancy spam filters. Now, are you using like provider mail, or you get like a Comcast address or something?
Cox.
Yeah. So provider,
yeah.
If you have provider mail, you're screwed, right? There's nothing you can do about it. If you have custom domain mail, oh yeah, we can do some stuff. We can make your spam filters a bit absurd even, but you can't do it if you have like Cox mail, unfortunately.
Okay, I'm kind of stuck. So what I do is I just unsubscribe to those that I, know that it's something that, I don't know, I bought a product a short while ago. Then I can unsubscribe. But when it comes to something I don't know, I say, well, all right, never mind.
What are you using for email client? Are you just going to the website, or do you have Outlook or something?
I use email, mail.
Mail?
Yeah.
Like the built-in mail program that comes with Windows, or were you talking you just go to their website and click on mail?
No, mail is the program. It's...
is it mail.com?
Wait a minute. Let me think a moment.
All right.
Okay. I have an Apple computer, so I'm...
so you're using Mac Mail. Okay.
Mac
so
Mail.
You can right-click on the messages and block them as junk.
Oh, I can do that,
yeah,
huh?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That'll help.
Okay. Well, I will start doing that. With all this security stuff, it kind of drives you nuts at times.
A little bit.
But
that's why I do this show. Actually, it's my vent.
Okay. Well, that answers the question. But I liked the discussion that you had. It's free speech, the internet. Even though there's garbage on it, you've got to have some common sense, and I'm wondering what common means nowadays. But to be able to, say, wait a minute, that just doesn't make sense to me, and do a little bit of search on it and find out that it's pardon my English, crap.
Yep.
Well,
I'm with you. We got to run on to other calls here, but thanks for the call, James.
That's it. No more. Bye-bye.
All right, thanks. Let's go ahead and talk to Bob. Hey, Bob, how are you?
I am well. How are you, Mike?
I'm doing okay.
I love the hat.
Thank you.
You look good. Hey, I need a little hard drive to take to work, and I always hear different people swear by a certain brand. Is there something that you have in your store that you would recommend over another?
We don't like Seagates.
Okay, so we both agree on that.
Yeah, that's pretty much
it. Like a LaCie, as long as it's not a Seagate, you're cool?
Most of the LaCies are Seagates.
I also...
No way.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like nowadays, since solid states are cheap enough, people should just buy a solid state and put it in an enclosure. Because then if you drop it, it might still work.
Yeah, higher survivability for sure.
Less apt to fail as well?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And lots of choices at your place?
Well, I don't have any choices at my place. I don't sell hardware.
We can help you, though.
I don't do retail like that. I will order something for you.
Okay.
Or I will send you someplace to go buy one. Or if you're really feeling like it, for some people who may need it, we actually will just go shopping with you. We'll meet you at the place where you want to go buy technology, and we will point you in the right direction of stuff. And fend off the salesman until I get kicked out of Best Buy, which
that's my favorite part.
So
I do that with Radio Shack.
Yeah. So anyway, if you need any of that type of stuff, no Seagates. Some of the LaCie drives are just LaCie drives are just that. Others are Seagates that have been rebranded. Most Mac drives are actually Seagates, unfortunately. And it's one of those things. It's just like, just stay away from the Seagates as much as possible because they have such a ridiculous failure rate.
And is there one brand that I hear what you don't like, is there any brand that you tend to recommend when you're asked?
HGST, but you can't get those locally, or Western Digital.
Just got to order them, yeah. HGST?
Yep.
If you're going solid state, I personally like Corsair as well as Samsung.
Corsair.
There you go, man.
Thank you very much.
We got to take a quick break. When we come back, there'll be more of the Computer Guru Show and comments. If you're on hold, stick around. Otherwise, give us a call, 790-2040, if you want to weigh in on anything that we've been talking about. We'll be right back.
Computer troubles? Need some advice? Call in now. Mike Swanson will be back after these messages. The Computer Guru Show, AM 1030, KVOY, The Voice. Mike Swanson, your computer guru, is just a click away. Listen and watch at gurushow.com. This is the Computer Guru Show.
Welcome back to the show, 790-2040. If you would like to have your voice heard here, let's go ahead and talk to Ingrid. Hello, Ingrid. How are you?
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, hi. I'd like to add something to what the gentleman who called just prior to the last one had to say about raising the voting age.
Right.
Consider we send young people to battle at very young ages.
Right.
If they were older, they might be conscientious objectors.
That's true.
We have law enforcement officers who pack heat, and
pack heat.
Maybe we need to consider the age at which we allow them to make certain kinds of decisions. And finally, judges who get involved in, for instance, what might be appropriate for the internet or not appropriate. Maybe the age of becoming a judge should be looked at very carefully.
Well, those are definitely things to think about.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think anybody's really taking seriously the idea of raising the voting age. I think the idea of it being a kind of a kitschy way of calling out that young people are stupid, and it's true, right?
And
we all are.
To be fair, I'm definitely lumped into that age group. You know?
So am I.
Yeah. So.
Right. I am not. I guess not
No,
anymore.
you're not.
But I'm dumb, right? And I know that.
Yeah, I don't even. I agree with myself maybe 75% of the time.
So I don't think anybody's really taking that seriously. But I think that calling out the absurdity of the appeal to emotion when it comes to anything that's on the books really is one of those things that I can't abide, right? It's just like you can either appeal to the logical side of me or not at all, mainly because I probably don't have an emotional side. But there's a certain amount of, it's kind of silliness to even think about the idea of raising the voting age. But I think there needs to be a certain amount of, if you are going to vote, you should try not to be dumb, right? Just sort of do some research and know what you're voting for.
Yeah, maybe there could be a qualification test of some kind.
That's right.
You're
going down a slippery slope there. But thanks for the call, Ingrid. I appreciate it. That's
no, obviously, because then who writes the test. But no, I mean, in a way, you should have to demonstrate that you at least understand the issue.
There should be some competence. I mean, if you have to go through a test that most people can't test just to become a citizen, you should probably have something similar as far as
maybe if you
voting.
could give a summary of the proposition before, like the ability to put yes or no.
It's all
revealed.
subjective, though, and not to mention that the packets you get that are supposed to explain those propositions to you, there's no such thing as a neutral one, right? And except for the one that doesn't tell you anything. And so, it's like, what are the effects of this?
Do you know what I think should be against the law, though?
What's that?
Covering every single corner and like
Oh,
500,000
I know.
signs every 2 years before the election every time.
Yeah, but you might as well just leave them up. Just the stakes stay there, and you just put a new sign
I'm always
on
just
them.
I'm like, oh, good thing I saw that sign. I was going to vote no until that thing told me to vote yes in giant letters.
Right, it doesn't tell you anything. It just says
yes
vote
on
yes.
number whatever, and I'm like, oh, now I will. Thank you, giant sign.
They should just be QR codes, all of them, right? And then you can just scan them and go to the website.
You know how many car accidents there's going to be?
Sign everywhere.
Not if we all have Teslas. All right, let's go ahead and take this Windows 10 question. Hello, Rudy. How are you?
Yeah, all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
I have a couple old computers, and when I look at the hardware requirements, it appears that like Windows 7 demands more than Windows 10 as far as CPU speed and RAM and the rest of it. Is that true, or are they about the same?
Well, one of the things that they fail to mention is that you need multiple cores. So you can have lower processor speed with more cores. Because they wouldn't think that anyone would possibly have single-core or dual-core machines anymore, because why would you? But the truth is that Windows 10 does have better memory management than Windows 7 did.
Okay.
And it does a better job of suspending background processes, so you can have a slower processor and still have a reasonable experience.
Okay, yeah. That was when I was trying to figure out on whether I put on some of these older machines that aren't quite dead yet. And,
Linux. You're putting Linux on them, man.
Oh yeah. I've got a separate hard drive for some of those computers that are older, and it does work pretty well.
Yeah, I think everyone should get off onto like either Mint or Ubuntu or something other than Microsoft or Mac products, just to remind them. Guess what? There are choices.
You can also try out React OS. We were playing around with that at the shop.
React is all right.
Yeah.
React, how do you spell that?
React OS, so it's REACT and then OS like operating system.
Okay.
That's not Linux or Windows. It's kind of a hybrid. It's a third-party operating system that runs NTFS. So in theory, you can run almost all Windows programs on it.
Right. At the very least, you can dual boot on a Windows machine on the same drive.
Right. It looks just like old school Windows NT. It's really cool.
All right. Well, thank you.
All right. No problem. Thanks for the call.
Bye.
Let's take a moment to mention our sponsors for the first hour of the show. That would be Perfection Auto Works. You can visit their website at perfectionautoworks.com. They do great work. Mike and his team down there are wonderful people. You can tell because you can't get an appointment for,
It's true. I haven't been able to take my car there yet. Not for lack of trying, though.
No, they're that they do a great job because they're busy. Same way that, we are, right? You can get an appointment with me. It's going to take you a little while. But that's just the way that it works. Anyway, go check them out. They're awesome people, and they do and thank them for sponsoring the show because they help us pay the bills around here. As we have mentioned many a times, this is not something that any of us get paid to do. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It's just the most expensive hobby that you can probably think of, and we do it to the benefit of you guys, we hope. And if you get something out of the show and you think that you've learned something useful or would like to keep us on the air, you can help also by going to patreon.com/Guru Show or going to the Guru Show site where there are links where you can donate as little as $1 a month to the show to help keep us online. One of the people who does that is
Desert Pro Commercial Cleaning, LLC, the best Tucson janitorial services, and you can find them at TucsonDesertPro.com.
Right, they pay more than $1. But
I feel like Tara wakes up in her sleep saying that sometimes. She rattles it off so quick.
Probably do.
But they sponsor us on Patreon. They're really kind to do so. And if you want your sponsorship shown on our podcast as well, which I've been doing lately, then go to patreon.com/Guru Show.
Right, and you can also make Tara or Rob or myself, anybody, say anything you want.
For money.
Yeah, for money. Right, because
it's only like $1 though. I mean, come on.
Yeah, kind of word sluts over here. We'll just go ahead and say whatever you want, as long as it isn't terribly disagreeable.
Yeah, but when we come back, we're going to do some fun stuff, and I'm actually going to talk about a company that I have to rescind my sponsorship of.
Oh, yeah. We both have something to rant about, but two different things about the same company.
Yep, it's going to be a good one, and hopefully we don't get in trouble.
And I'll just be here.
No, you know why we won't get in trouble? Because we know how to disclaim.
In my opinion.
This is my opinion and not the radio stations or anyone else's. We'll be right back after these messages with more of the Computer Guru Show.
From my heart and from my hand, wide understand my intention.
Computer running slow? I'm waiting. Caught a virus? Does your computer seem to have a life of its own?
Malfunction. Need input.
The computer guru is here.
Thank God you're here.
Call in now.
Now it's Mike Swanson, your computer guru.
We're just going to go ahead and open the show with it's important for everyone to realize that opinions expressed in this show are our own, and they don't have anything to do with the radio station or computer guru or
anything that could get us in trouble.
Right. If anything's suable has nothing to do with that. This is just our opinion.
We're just a couple of dudes with a couple of opinions.
Yeah, that's just it. Tara, do you have an opinion too?
Not on this, no.
Okay, so whatever Tara says, you can sue her over. But everything else, nobody has an opinion. It's just opinions, right?
They're just opinions, man.
Right. All right, so GoDaddy can go stick it.
Yeah, it's very rare that I actually am actively opposed to a company. And I haven't been that way with GoDaddy ever. And actually, when customers ask me about GoDaddy, I'm usually like, they're all right. Use them if you want. Don't use them if you don't want to. I've been kind of neutral towards GoDaddy. But given some things that have happened over the last month, I have to actually change that, and I have to say, do not use GoDaddy if you can help it.
Give me the details, man.
So I've had a couple customers, and for it to happen twice in the same month is concerning to me. A couple of customers who had the same issue where GoDaddy salespeople sold them something that was actively not what they wanted and led them to believe that it was.
And definitely something they didn't need.
Yeah, so in one case, it wasn't that big of a deal. In the second case, it was a huge deal. So the issue was GoDaddy is doing what they call managed WordPress hosting now.
What is this?
So instead of traditional hosting where you just get a file structure and you drop your website in there and set up an SQL database, you don't get any of that. You just get a WordPress installation, and they kind of handle it for you. So the reason why it wasn't a big deal in the first case was because we hadn't launched this customer's website yet. So he called up and said he needed hosting because that's what we told him he needed to get. And they said, okay, well, how about managed WordPress hosting? And he was like, oh, they built my website with WordPress. That sounds like what I need. And so he bought it, and it wasn't what he needed.
So are there limitations on the managed WordPress that prevent people from using pre-built sites?
This was the issue, was that we had already built the website. So for us to then use their managed WordPress hosting, we can't restore the website onto there because we have no file system.
I see.
So we would have to manually transfer it and reset up all of the content and the theme and all of that stuff. So it would have ended up, we have to charge for that. So it would have ended up costing him more because it would have been at least a few more hours of work to do.
Right.
So in that case, what we did was we basically just got him off of GoDaddy, and they didn't even want to refund him, even though they had sold him something that he didn't ask for. Not a huge deal in that case. The second case that I dealt with just last week was a really big deal. We had a customer who we built a website for, I think it was about a year ago, some time ago. And she set up her website on GoDaddy hosting, which was fine. We set up the website and installed it, and it was good. She wanted to be proactive and renew her hosting in advance, as you should, so that you don't have to worry about it. So when she called to renew, they sold her this managed WordPress thing, even though she was on just basic cPanel hosting with them. And they told her it was what she needed, and we would do everything that she needed to do. Okay? So fast forward to a month later, which was a few days ago, they deleted her website.
Wow.
They just deleted her entire website and gave her a blank new managed WordPress installation.
And they're like, here you go.
Yep.
And then what about undoing?
Well, so what happened was she called us and was like, I know this isn't you guys, obviously. This was a GoDaddy thing. I just want to know if you can help. Is there anything that you can do to help with this? And I was like, all right, let's do a three-way call between GoDaddy and us, and maybe we can hash this out. Turns out they wanted to charge her like $150 for restoring the old website that they deleted after selling her the wrong product.
Nice.
And so finally, by GoDaddy's graciousness, they said they'd give her half off the reinstall or the restore, but she also needed to purchase a month of regular hosting so that they'd have something to restore to. And she was like, well, can I just get refunded on my managed WordPress and then use that? And they were like, oh, that's out of the refund date. That was a month ago. Sorry.
Nice.
So luckily, I still had the files from the website when we originally installed it. I still had my backup and everything like that. Unfortunately, there was changes that had been made to the website in the over the course of the year. But it was better to have something than nothing. And so we got her set up on our hosting, which she requested, while we were still on hold with GoDaddy.
Yeah, and from what I understand, she had some choice words.
Yeah, I haven't heard.
Language.
I've definitely had a good time listening to that customer tell GoDaddy what she thought of them.
And my instance with GoDaddy is something different. whereas they basically have been charging a fairly well-known set of businesses here in town for virtual private server hosting. So they had this VPS there that was running cPanel, and it was just massively out of date.
And so you would do this kind of thing if you didn't want to be sharing hosting with anyone else, right?
Right. If you want your own server, right? Basically,
no
GoDaddy,
neighbors.
Yeah, GoDaddy gives you your own servers, and you can do VPS hosting through a number of different vendors, but in this case, they're using GoDaddy. And they had it was just so out of date. Like every VPS because we actually rent several VPS servers
for our own needs.
Yeah, for stuff that we do. And the vendors of those virtual private servers, they update them, right? They're like, okay, we're going to get better processors or more RAM or whatever, new hard drives, etc. And it's sort of a given. It just sort of happens. And this one, it was like 8 years old and still running on original hardware, original configuration, and it's just the security on it is massively out of date.
Yeah, and remember we just talked about last week that the guy who set up a VPS and it was hacked within 30 minutes.
Yeah, and that's how we got called into this, was that the server got hacked and it was sending out spam mail, and it was a disaster. And it took 3 solid days of unscrewing this server, right? Just getting the hackers out of it, killing all of the scripts, and getting it to a usable state just to move it somewhere else, to get it off of that old server. And to me, it's just one of these things. It's like, come on, GoDaddy, what are you doing? Every other provider looks out for their clients and for themselves. I mean, it's your reputation, GoDaddy.
But it seems pretty obvious at this point that they don't care about their reputation anymore. Because in this case with the hosting stuff, I mean, it might not seem like a huge deal to some people, but like it's obvious that they're just trying to push this managed WordPress hosting right now. It's a new thing that they're doing. So to actively sacrifice your company's integrity, to sell a new product.
Well, you're selling a product that is incompatible with existing web hosting.
Now, I mean, from GoDaddy's standpoint, they can say, well, we explained what it was, and the customer said that they wanted it. And it's like, yeah, that's technically true, but it should be obvious that a lot of these people just don't understand that. They don't understand what they're buying.
They're using GoDaddy. Of course they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
so
exactly.
There's a certain amount of, you cannot sell a product that is incompatible with existing. I mean, you've got somebody that's hosting a website on like in the case of your customer there, where they've got an existing website that works, and had it been explained, by the way, once you do this, your other website's going to be deleted. You're going to have this new website. You're going to have to set everything up again. Do you think that she would have said yes?
I mean, obviously not.
Right. So,
and now to the GoDaddy rep's credit, he said that they had told her how to migrate her site onto managed WordPress. But I mean, it's so obviously not a product that she needed. Right. It was working fine.
Not to mention the WeManager anyway.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. And and then when we were on the phone with the rep, he kind of disparaged us a little bit by saying like, oh well, you don't know exactly who's accessing your website if you have a third-party company doing it. I'm like, you're a third-party company, GoDaddy. Yeah. Like, which one of us deleted this person's website?
Right. Which one of us is more trustworthy?
Which one of us fixed it while on hold with the other company?
Hey, Rob, did this end up being an escalated call with GoDaddy?
She escalated it to their supervisor, and the supervisor said he would need to call her back, and he couldn't talk to her right then. So, I don't think she's pursuing it anymore at the moment because her website's working right now. It's up and running on our server. It's just it struck me as insane that a company could be this disingenuous.
Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and take a caller. We'll talk to Dave. Hello, Dave. How are you?
Hello. Yes, I hear you talking about GoDaddy there. I grew up and worked in construction field for ages, and unfortunately in America, starting like back in the 80s, companies found that all they had to do was make a good product, make a name, and then they could let the product go to trash, and the name would keep selling. And it sounds like that might be what's happened with GoDaddy. I'm an older guy and not that much into tech, but I know I've heard the name for years, and weren't they on the Super Bowl a couple years ago or something with that Danica Kirkpatrick and all that? So.
Yeah, I mean, they have a history of being sort of controversial when it comes to advertising. And you're right, it's part of their advertising brand. is to be
Right,
a little
yeah.
crazy.
And we've kind of said the same thing about certain antivirus companies for a while. You know, obviously this is our opinion, but Norton used to be a really, really good product.
And don't get me wrong, Norton Antivirus by itself, the antiviral portion of it is fantastic. But unfortunately, you can't get Norton Antivirus by itself. It has to come with all this other garbage.
I mean, if you're on the business side of things, Symantec is Norton, correct?
Right.
Yeah, and that's a great product. You know, but it's the brand recognition thing where people are like, oh, I've just heard this name for so long, they must be good.
Now, to bring that up, that's another thing I've noticed in my years in living in this country, that they will get they'll be good in one field, but then they want to take on these other fields to the detriment of their strong points, so to speak.
Yeah, well, you just pretty much summed up the tech industry.
I mean, especially considering you were just talking about the VPS thing with GoDaddy.
Right.
You know, they're in this industry, and yet they have no idea how to manage their own product.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, my question was, I'm in the process of setting up a nonprofit.
Okay.
And I talked with a younger gentleman that's a little more tech than me. I was talking to him about shooting some videos, and he said that I need to get a website set up. He recommended Wix. He says you can do a free deal where your website's attached to their name, and then once you're comfortable and kind of going, he says you pay $15 a month, and then it's like your website.
Right.
And I've heard their ads where you build your own website.
Uh-huh.
But then I heard you guys talking about you hosting them. That's basically what Wix does, right?
Sort of. Now, Wix is a builder system, and basically it's a kind of drag and drop. You can build based off of their templates, and they can host it for you. We do things a little bit differently, where we will build you a custom site for you and host it for you if you like, and everything is completely optional. But the upside is that you always own your stuff when you do it through us.
Yeah, the issue, I mean, Wix is fine. You know, I mean, if people want to use Wix, that's fine. They have a good product. But the main issue that I've seen with products like that and website builders in general, I just talked to a gentleman yesterday who was on Vistaprint's website builder, is that if you want to migrate to another product, it can be really difficult, and in some cases you can't do it without just rebuilding. So it's kind of a future-proof thing. And Wix is not exactly future-proof.
I mean, Wix is definitely not a bad product. They have pretty sites. They have all of the really cool features. And if you want to build it yourself and you want to spend the time doing it, great. If you want it just to be done, then you can come to somebody like us.
I actually, a lot of times I recommend if somebody is considering the build it yourself option, go ahead, try it out. You know, if it works for you, that's fantastic. And if you have problems with it, we're still going to be here, you know, so you can come back to us at that point. And in a lot of cases, people learn, you know, from their mistake the first time. And if they use the build it yourself option and they don't like it, then they understand a little bit better why that doesn't work for everyone.
Yeah, and that also helps it underscores why there's a dollar amount that's put on building websites, because it's a pain in the butt. So
yeah.
But if you want to go about it yourself, and if it works out for you, great. It costs you nothing. But if you need some help, that's what we're here for.
Okay, and listening to you talking about migrating, if I'm understanding that, that'd be like if I built it at their site and then wanted to come to you to host it.
Yeah,
it would probably be next to impossible. Like you say, you'd have to basically rebuild.
Yeah, because it's built in their site builder, we wouldn't be able to pick it up and actually host it.
I see. Okay, so what do you guys host fee run and build fee?
There's a whole bunch of different choices for that.
Like I say, I'm just getting into this. The reason I was thinking about doing it myself, of course, is to keep the costs low.
Right.
And
as far as hosting goes, we are $10 a month or $100 a year at the moment. Though I think we're going to be introducing a couple new hosting packages shortly. And then as far as the website cost goes, it really is going to be dependent on what you need. But I can tell you that we've got prices to fit virtually every budget. So if you want to give me a call at the shop on Monday, I'd be happy to walk you through it. It's just not super radio friendly.
Do you guys have any type of build your own or assist where I could save a little money or put my own pictures and stuff and videos or...
Express sites.
Yeah. If you were on our Express tier, a lot of that would be dependent on you helping us set it up anyway. So.
Okay. I might just drop in one day and talk with you because over the phone kind of can drag on.
Sure. And if you want to learn a little bit more,
so
if you want to learn a little bit more about our website options, you can go to azcomputerguru.com. And if you want to learn about the Express stuff, that's set up at express.azcomputerguru.com. express.azcomputerguru.com.
And then just azcomputerguru.com.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll take a look at those, and if I have more questions, get a hold of you.
Sounds great.
Appreciate the call. We got to take a quick break just because we're a little bit over. If you're on hold, stick around. We'll be right back.
Your computer guru, Mike Swanson, is here to help you tame that beast of a machine. Join the chat right now at gurushow.com or call in. This is the Computer Guru Show on KVO.
I'm nerdy in the extreme and whiter than sour cream. I was in a V club and glee club and even the chess team. Only question I ever thought was hard, what do I like, Kirk or do I like Picard? Spend every weekend at the Renaissance Fair, got my name on my underwear. They see me stroll.
Welcome back to the Computer Guru Show. My name is Mike, here to deal with your technology problems and treat you like a person in the process. 790-2040 if you'd like to be part of the show. That's 520-790-2040. And it's 17 minutes and counting. We're gonna have to take Philip now. Hey, Philip, how are you?
Yeah, hi. I bought a new smartphone, Galaxy Android.
Okay.
And both my videos on YouTube and Netflix come out fuzzy, and I've gone into the settings of both of them, and it hasn't changed it.
What do you mean, when you're taking photos or when you're watching photos?
When I'm trying to watch videos, they don't go in high resolution. They're all really fuzzy, and I've gone to the options or settings in each one of those applications, and it hasn't changed.
Do they buffer a lot? Like, are the videos freezing, or are they're just in low resolution the whole time?
Extreme low resolution.
But they don't like freeze and then start again?
No.
Who's your provider?
Virgin.
Virgin? Yeah, that's okay.
It's a problem.
Well, I've never had this problem before because I had Virgin on my old phone, and I've done all my own downloading and stuff from the Google Play Store, and it's never happened before. I don't know.
Do you get the same results if you're connected to Wi-Fi?
I haven't tried that yet.
Yeah, here's your test. Connect to Wi-Fi somewhere and see if you get the same results. If you do, then that's obviously something in the phone. I think that it's just it knows you're not on the fastest service and is throttling down the resolution.
Yeah, the first easy test would be to just connect up to Wi-Fi and see if that same problem happens.
Right, because Virgin runs off of I think the same as the AT&T towers.
Sprint.
The Sprint?
Sprint now.
Which is the same thing, isn't it? Sprint.
Well, I've had Virgin for about 2 years. I've never had this problem.
Right, and it was a different phone though. So
it was another Galaxy phone, but it was a higher processing.
Right. We need to get some more information here. I think that it has something to do with the combination of settings in the phone and it knowing that you're on a slower service. And the way to test that would be Wi-Fi. Turn on the Wi-Fi.
All right.
See if you get better resolution. If you do, then there may be some way to tweak the phone into forcing it into higher resolution. But I think that you're going to end up with buffering problems if that's the case. But we need to know the first step. Is
you know what? I think you may be right. I do not have an extra SD card installed yet.
Well, yeah, and I don't know how much that would affect it either, depending on what you're watching. If you're just watching YouTube, I don't think that's going to affect anything either. If you're actually saving videos, that may be something, because it may be transcoding down if you're saving them to the device rather than just watching them. But I think that first start with Wi-Fi, and let us know if you get a higher resolution when you're on Wi-Fi.
All right.
Let's make sure that you're not on CenturyLink with your Wi-Fi too.
Yeah.
So if you got high-speed Wi-Fi somewhere, give that a shot and let us know what happens.
All right, I'll try that.
If you get the same thing though, then we can probably look at some sort of tweaks on the phone, but that might require you drop in at the office and we can take a look at your phone.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Appreciate the call. Well, I mean, I'm glad he waited a long time. I wish I could have given him a better answer. Let's go ahead and talk to line 4. Let's talk to Kevin. Hey, Kevin, how are you?
Hey, Mike. Good afternoon. Hi, Tara. Rob.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
How's it going?
fast because I know there's a whole bunch of people out there. Okay, lead me right into that webpage thing. A shameless plug here. Somebody take a look at my webpage there, Rob, KenyattaHillsDental.com. Rob's been working with me for this for about a month. Actually, it's been about 6 months because I was dragging my feet. It's been about a month. He's got me mobile ready. He's got me Facebook connected. And so look at that site in about 4 weeks from where it looks right now. And that's because of that dedicated man you got sitting next to you there in the studio there, Mike.
Yeah, don't look yet because it's not
Don't
done.
look at him. No, I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at Rob. So we're working on it. So, okay, that's first thing. That's a shameless plug for you guys. I've got a Samsung Note 5. I don't like the interface on it. I used to have an LG before. Mike, you said something once about you could just root the phone and then just download the LG.
Well,
interface?
sort of. You can download various types of interfaces that are different than what's built in.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like Samsung's, which is called TouchWiz.
Yeah, I don't like it at all, buddy. Yeah.
But yeah, so your best bet, and with the Note 5, there is a root out there. I know for a fact.
I got a root. So then you root it, and then what do you do then? You just go to how do you say, go to these websites?
Yeah, you'd want to go to like Android Talk, one of the Android forums.
XDA.
XDA is one of the great ones. Yeah, go there and they'll have a section specifically for your phone, and they'll tell you which third-party ROMs are out there.
Right, and they even give you instructions on how to do it if you feel like doing it yourself.
Yeah,
I'm going to do that. I tried to break my web page. I gave up on that. Okay, so Rob's going to fix that. When I break my phone, I'll bring him over and I'll have him help me fix that. BleachBit, famous by Hillary and all those other guys back there in Washington, D.C. I won't
keep it quick, Kevin.
Okay. Is it safe to use that on your computer?
Yes.
So you can use it, and it will not touch any of your good files at all.
Well, it'll touch whatever files you tell it to touch.
Okay, so if you let's see, I get all kinds of emails, and I delete them, but as you guys know, they're still on the computer.
Well, BleachBit is pretty famous for deleting emails. So.
Yeah, I mean, the point.
But does it delete all my? Thank you. You said it. I didn't, Rob.
What are you doing, man?
I'll get this one. I'll take the credit for that one.
Thank you, buddy. So we're not going anywhere. So if you use BleachBit, it's not going to. If you download it and install it on your computer, you can decide what it is you want it to take.
As with anything, you can make anything as dangerous as you like, depending on how you use it.
Okay, so it is all right. So then I'm going to back everything up and mess around with it.
How about this? I mean, please just delete stuff and then wait a day. It'll be overwritten by then.
Okay, thank you. That's good. All right. All right. What do you guys use? Is there such a thing as email security?
Of course there is.
Okay, what programs do you use?
What do you mean email security, though?
Okay, so is there such a thing? Can you send an email to somebody and not have somebody else read it, unless you're encrypting it?
Well, I send a lot of emails to Mike, and he never reads them, so.
I do the same thing. That's like the emails I sent to you, Rob, but that's not. Okay. No, it's not that he doesn't want
Without encryption, no.
Without encryption. So encryption is the safest way.
It's the only way that you can actually get email from one place to the other, guaranteeing that it has not been read, unless there's in the middle of the
true encryption is no.
Well, that's encryption, right? You have to have encryption in order to maintain the envelope, to make sure that it has not been tampered with, because there's a mathematical formula that takes place on both ends to verify that the file that was sent was not opened and was also delivered in the same number of packets and everything.
How did the boobs running this country manage to get all their email hacked? I don't understand that. I find that they were not using.
They got the email that said, "Hey, this is Gmail, and we need you to update your information. Click here," and they did it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And they hacked their Gmail account.
I will tell you though that when it comes to my actual personal email, I host with us because it's the only company I trust.
Okay. All right. I don't want to hog the line here. Guys, you have a great weekend. I can't wait to talk to you next week after the election, okay?
Sounds good, man.
Thanks, buddy. Take care, man. I'll talk to you on Tuesday, Rob.
Sounds good.
Thanks, buddy. Bye-bye.
Yeah. To call after the election, the world's going to be on fire.
Yeah, if there's a show, we'll see. Right.
If that Cubs tweet was right.
Let's talk to Tom. Hello, Tom. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I've got a quick question on the renewal of my license for my home and office, which I did for my desktop about a month ago. And I put together a PowerPoint presentation using my desktop. I put it on a thumb drive. And then I put it in my laptop and was going to use it at a meeting. And I opened my laptop and opened a PowerPoint and suddenly get a pop-up saying, this computer has not been updated with the annual license renewal.
Right.
Which sort of stunned me. I guess I just haven't done that. But if I use PowerPoint on the laptop, is that likely to shut the laptop down?
Well, okay. So which subscription do you have, or do you have a subscription?
I've got an annual subscription on my desktop.
So it's a 365, or is it a single install that you have a subscription of?
I think it's a single install.
All right. So if you have a single install, that's exactly what it means. One machine, right? And if you want to have more than one machine, then you either have to buy another single install, or just go with the 365 subscription, because the 365 allows you for $100 a year to install in up to 5 computers. So
I did not do that. The annual, I think, was around $60, if I'm not mistaken, just for one computer.
right. So for an extra $35 or $40, you can get it on all your computers.
Do you think I could do that and build that on top of what I've already subscribed to?
Well, I would just unsubscribe to the other one and replace it with the 365 then.
Okay.
And that way you don't have to end up paying $160. You're just paying $100 a year.
Okay, I get that. I appreciate that very much. Thanks, guys.
No problem. Yeah, the 365 subscriptions seem to confuse everyone. And it's unfortunate, especially when you get into the business stuff, man.
Hey, I will just say you can drag and drop that PowerPoint into Google Drive and it'll work just fine on any machine.
You could do that. And you know what? We should have mentioned that. I guess we already mentioned. Is he still on the line, by the way? Okay. So, you could, in a pinch, you could just start using...
Yeah, like in the case where he's trying to give his presentation, and it's not working.
Right, Google Docs, man.
Yep, just put that right on there and it'll work fine.
I think a lot of people don't know about it.
Well, Tom, did you know about it?
No, can you say that again, please?
Google Drive, if you've got a Gmail account, just go to drive.google.com and you can literally drag your PowerPoint file into that window. It'll upload and then it'll convert it to Google's format. You can open it up right then and use it.
And it's free.
It's free. It works on every device too.
So that's an option.
You guys are saviors. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
Take care.
Let's go ahead and take a break. That's what we're going to do, right? Because we were long. We are long again.
That's what we do.
That's what I get accused of. We'll be right back after these messages.
Whether you're dealing with hardware installation or, heaven forbid, a virus,
No!
Mike Swanson is answering all your questions one by one. So call in or chat in with yours. The website, gurushow.com. Tune in, click in, and kick back. This is the Computer Guru Show on AM 1030.
Welcome back to the Computer Guru Show, 790-2040 if you would like to be a part of the show.
You got to get in quick if you want to.
Yeah, we only got we got one more segment after this.
Limited time only.
Yes.
We've had a lot of callers and they've actually been some pretty good conversations, I think.
For a limited time, we'll answer the phone.
My headphones are almost unplugged over here.
You know what we should talk about? See, we talked about cell phones a little bit. How about that Pixel?
Oh yeah, I think it was Mark, right, who was asking us about that.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have done some research into the Pixel because I super want one.
Right.
So that should tell you where these comments are going to go. No, it's a really nice phone, honestly. It's a solid flagship in my opinion. It's what a flagship should be. It's not extreme in any one regard, like the LG phone that has all the modules. If you just need a really good phone that works well, the Pixel is a good option. It's got average battery life for a 5.5-inch phone. Obviously, you can get the little smaller one if you want to, but I would recommend getting the good size one.
Right.
It's got a really nice screen. It's a Quad HD. It's got the camera is pretty much the best right now. It's 12 megapixel. What were the other specs on that?
20, wasn't it?
Was it 20 megapixel?
20 on the front, 12 on the back.
Oh, okay.
20 on the back.
12 on the front.
12 on the front.
Gotcha. And what a lot of people seem to like about it is the version of Android that it's running, which is probably the cleanest, best version of Android since it's coming straight from Google. It's not really known yet if that version of the OS is going to be available to other phones, but it's super slick on the Pixel. It's got the best Google Assistant integration, of course, of any of the Android phones yet, and that's super useful. I use it on my Note 4 all the time. So.
Yeah, I mean, when I was looking at that review, I mean, the things that looked most interesting to me in sort of order of importance were clean OS, right? Just because I don't like, I'm one of those people that hates the Samsung interface.
Yeah, a lot of people really don't. I'm neutral towards it, but I understand why some people don't like it.
And I mean, because partially it's because I came from the beginning when I started using Android phones. It was I was using Blur.
Mm-hmm.
So I liked the Motorola version of Android, and it was very nice, and I understood where everything was, and it sort of made sense. And going from the Motorola to the Samsung, it's just like, why is that in that place? I mean, that's not where you would think to look for it.
So I went from HTC's interface to Samsung, and I mean, I don't know how it is now because I haven't had an HTC phone in quite some time. But back then on the Evo, the first amazing smartphone that everybody had, that interface was garbage. And that was the first phone I rooted.
Well, yeah, you kind of have to root those to keep them working.
Exactly. So, I guess I can see why TouchWiz isn't such a big deal to me.
And second in importance, camera.
Sure.
I mean, it has a beautiful camera. Records 4K video with stabilization, which is
and the stabilization looks pretty nice too.
Right, it's completely unheard of to have 4K resolution video with software stabilization. I mean, it would be nice, of course, if you had hardware stabilization, but you're not going to fit that into a phone.
Yeah.
And then the last part was battery life, right? Because I abuse. I think terrible on phones.
It's a 3450 milliamp hour battery, so it pretty much comes in line the same as the Note series phones. My phone, I think, is 3350.
Just less fire.
Yeah, well, the Note 4 surprisingly hasn't burst into flames yet. I'll let you know. The other thing is that the Pixel is supposedly going to be Daydream ready, which is Google's VR platform.
Right.
So,
well, given the screen on that and the processor they put
that's the big thing is going to be how it handles processing games and graphics. So that's going to be really cool. I'm definitely excited to get my hands on that.
Right now, it stands as it would be the fastest Android phone that's out there as far as processing power is concerned, and it looks lovely.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see the Nexus phones were great, but it's nice to see like Google doing Google. Doing an actual. It's like their answer to the iPhone, finally.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It has a headphone jack, though.
It's got a headphone jack. They even put that in their commercial in a snarky way that I totally approve of. They're like, a feature that's not new, headphone jack.
Who would have thunk it?
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah, so there was the promised sort of review.
Yeah, and I guess my overall final comment would be, you're not going to get anything outrageous with the Pixel. It's a run-of-the-mill good phone, if that makes sense. A run-of-the-mill great phone, even. It's a good flagship. It doesn't do anything in particular super great other than the camera, but it does everything really well.
And that's one of those things where it's just my personality, where in the same way that I don't like the antiviruses that do everything.
Right.
I also don't like the phones that come with all of these weird features that...
So I bought my phone, the Note 4, specifically for Gear VR. That's the reason I bought this phone. That was the deciding factor. And it does that thing really well, and then it does most other things pretty good. It's a decent phone. So to me, when I looked at the Pixel, which is the same form factor, it's the same size as this phone, it looks like the spiritual successor that the Note 7 didn't end up being.
And less fire.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So especially because they're coming out with their own VR platform that can compete directly with Gear VR.
Yeah, and Google, they've been doing some great stuff when it comes to phones, right? It turns out that they have 88% of the global market.
Essentially 9 out of 10 smartphones now are running Android.
And let's see, Microsoft lost 300 million browser users
now
to Chrome.
I have to say though that with the phone statistic, I would change that statistic to be a little bit less disingenuous if it was me, because that 90% of that 90% is like garbage $50 phones.
Right. Yeah. At least half.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but yeah, definitely at least 50% of those phones are not what I would consider to be the Android experience that you want.
Right, and this is one of the things that I really disliked about that's why I went with the Motorola Android phones every time, because I tried one of those off-brand. I tried like an HTC or something, and it was one of their budget models, and it was just terrible experience. And it's just like, you know what? Only thing I trust now is the Motorola version.
That said, I mean, HTC, what is it? The HTC 10 is their new phone.
Right.
That is a great phone.
Well, and I think that it's much like everything else. You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
And I think if you're buying if you're getting the free phone that comes with a plan at Cricket, then you're getting a free phone.
Yeah, I think a lot of people also don't know that, like, you don't need to get that free phone from Cricket. You know, almost all phones are unlocked nowadays. I think there was a law passed that said that they have to be.
Which they've gone back and forth on a couple times, but
right.
Yes.
So you can buy a third-party phone that's decent. You just got to do your research. You know, Huawei, or however you pronounce that one.
Right.
Those are some good phones. The blue ones aren't bad either. You're going to pay a little bit more than a cheap phone, so it's like a really good cheap phone. So as long as you do your research on it, you should be fine.
And they're having a fire sale on Samsung's lately.
Well, I think they said 85% of those are finally returned.
You know, what's funny is that a box showed up at the office for shipping one of those back.
We were joking about how ridiculous it is.
And it turns out that nobody has one to send back. But we have this box to send a Samsung phone back.
It's actually like 6 boxes.
It is crazy.
It's this really big box, and then you open it up, and there's a smaller box, and then a smaller box, and all the way down to a static-proof bag, and they give you gloves to handle the phone when you put it into the bag.
Right, so they want you to put the phone, wearing gloves, of course, into a static-proof bag, which goes into a little phone box, which then goes into a slightly larger box, which then goes into a fire-retardant box, which goes into the outer shipping box. And then you can send it back to Samsung. That is crazy. Box manufacturers are just going crazy.
It's like, and it's no joke. If you mail that phone and you don't use their special case, like, you can get in a lot of trouble for that.
That's insane.
But 85% of them have been returned now.
Well, that's good because, well, I mean,
it makes me a little sad because I've got the Note 4 and like it's a great phone. You know, Samsung makes good phones, but their brand is going to be tainted for quite some time.
Well, and then on top of that, they got the dishwashers, or is it
washing
machines that are catching on fire now?
Just bad year for Samsung.
They just recalled 2.8 million of them.
Do they not have some sort of underwriter,
or they've got
inspections going on?
Really angry engineer.
This guy is just hot under the collar. I'm telling you. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, your phone calls at 790-2040. We'll be right back.
Girl, you really got me going. You got me so I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, you really got me now. You got me so I can't sleep at night.
Computer troubles? Need some advice? Call in now. Mike Swanson will be back after these messages. The Computer Guru Show, AM 1030, KVOY. Your technology guru, Mike Swanson, is answering all your questions one by one.
Yes, science!
So chime in with yours. The website is gurushow.com. Tune in, click in, and kick back. This is the Computer Guru Show.
Why are you letting the commercials run so long? We got calls to answer over here, man. Come on. All right, let's take a call here. Let's talk to Mark. Hello, Mark. How are you?
Yeah. Hey. Anyway, I decided to settle on the Samsung, S7 Edge. So
that's a good phone.
Yeah. Anyway, so I already had it, and I just didn't want to go through the trouble. And the other thing that turned me off from the Pixel was it wasn't water resistant, and that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I kind of agree. They dangled that in front of us, and then they don't put it in like every phone.
Wait a minute. No phones were water resistant 2 years ago, and now it's a big deal.
Well, I didn't know I needed it until just now.
Right. Yeah.
When the water uprises, Mike, will you resist?
Of course I will resist. But I don't know. I just, that's interesting that, you know what? One phone did it once, so now all the phones must do it.
They should. And
They should.
It happen.
They should be
Especially
waterproof.
if I'm out around and about in the garden and in the orchard and all that. So,
well, you can't push anybody into a pool anymore. You got to worry about their phone now.
Yeah, it could be a $600
well, pretty soon
push.
they won't have to. Everybody will be water resistant at least to 10 feet.
Yeah, I'm going to coat myself in Teflon. I'll just slip right off the surface of the pool.
There you go.
There you go. So, also, I have a question about every day here I've been getting an assault of viruses, it seems, that my quarantine report has been catching 2 or 3 viruses a day.
You talking to an email?
On the computer. I don't know where it's coming from, but they're coming through email. Yes, so my quarantine report is quarantining them.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering how safe I am here. One is going to get through because I have Malwarebytes, the home. What's it called?
I don't know. I don't know how safe you are.
The home premium, anyway.
Is your computer waterproof?
No, of course I don't have to worry about that one.
Well, I mean, you got Malwarebytes on there, and what antivirus are you using?
Well, I think I'm using the Microsoft standard.
You're reasonably safe. Malwarebytes is going to do a big majority of the heavy lifting there.
Okay. I have Vera waiting to be launched or waiting to be.
Is it installed on the machine or not?
No.
Okay,
not.
Good.
Well, when I click on it, it tells me, brings up some things that I have to install. So a list of things to install.
You're fine,
it's not
Mark.
installed.
You just stay the way you are. Don't you change,
right.
okay?
Okay, we'll stick with the Microsoft.
Thanks for the call, Mark. Appreciate it.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Let's talk to Dennis. Hello, Dennis. How are you?
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah.
What can I do for you?
I've seen a anti-ransomware beta put out by Malwarebytes. Is that safe to put on my computer? I have a 10 computer here.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And it specifically prevents CryptoLocker type infections.
Right.
And it's very good at what it does.
Okay. It says it says now it says not to put it on if it's a business situation. But
Right. They don't want the liability of you being a business and then suing them if something gets around it.
Oh, I see.
So the answer is it is very good. Of course, nothing is 100%.
No.
And if you go and click on something that you shouldn't be clicking on, you might still get yourself an infection. But this software is designed to stop it before it happens.
Very good.
All right.
Okay, that puts my mind at ease.
There you go. Thanks for the call, Dennis.
Pardon me?
I said thank you very much for the call. I appreciate it.
Thank you for the answer.
All right, so we got to wrap things up here. So let's go do a bit of selfless. Wait a minute, hold on. Shameless self-promotion. There you go.
You're spilling things now?
I know, I'm knocking everything over. I can't even speak.
You got it. This is why we let Tara do the shameless self-promotion.
Okay, go ahead, Tara.
What do I do?
Promote everything. Promote all of the things.
Promote all of the things.
If you want to call us during the week, you can call us at Arizona Computer Guru. That's 304-8300. And you can find us at Fort Lowell, 510 East Fort Lowell, or on the east side, 64 North Harrison.
Wow, she does pay attention.
Don't we technically have a suite number on Harrison?
Stop.
I don't know if we do. It's next to Buffalo Wild Wings. Get your food on while you come and get your computer fixed.
I'm jealous of the east side guys because they've got Buffalo Wild Wings right there.
Yeah, and there's Little Caesars and there's all kinds of stuff.
They got all the good stuff over there.
Yeah, there's everything within walking distance, and it's a nicer store than Fort Lowell. It really is.
But it doesn't have me, so.
Well, like I said, it's a nicer.
Am I detecting that there's a reason why I haven't been assigned to the east side? He's like, we got to keep it nice. You know who actually keeps it nice?
Got to keep the riffraff out of here.
Segway. I tried to segue here.
Who
Desert
does
Pro Commercial Cleaners.
They do
LLC.
keep it nice. They do. They keep it clean.
Mm-hmm.
They are our Patreon sponsor. And if you'd like to also be a Patreon sponsor, go to patreon.com/gurushow.
Or gurushow.com/Patreon.
Man, you guys are good. I don't even have to be here for the last 5 minutes of the show.
You could just not be here, actually. This is the Rob Show now.
So what else should you mention?
Stuff.
Yeah.
No, you should subscribe to us on YouTube as well.
Right. And one of the other things that you can do to help us out, to make sure that we can afford to pay for this radio show, is bring your computer down to Computer Guru or give us a call to look at your business network. So if you need a second opinion or if you think that you might want to save some money on your IT services.
Or if you'd like to have us build a website for you, that's what I do during my day job when I'm not saving the world from terrible radio.
That's right. Saving the world from terrible... What?
Hey, the shows where I'm on have higher ratings, Mike. Just saying.
Oh, man. That's terrible.
It's because they're listening to hear what ridiculous things I'm going to say next.
That's true. I think that you just get your mom to listen.
That's true. She is listening.
Only on your weeks, though.
It's true. She always she calls me and she's like, "Why aren't you on the show?" I was like, "It's an every other week thing, Mom."
Well, thank you very much for listening to the Computer Guru Show this week. We very much appreciate you. Give us a call down at the shop at 304-8300 or visit the website, azcomputerguru.com. We thank you very much for listening. We'll see you next week.